today's video, we're going to take you on a trip to Wisconsin and back. We're finally back to Utah and we're back to our regular upload schedule. We'll talk about all of that right after this intro. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Here we normally talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate in southern Utah, as well as all things St. George, like living, playing, and working here. But in today's video, we're talking about our trip to Wisconsin. However, if you stumbled upon our channel because you're potentially looking at relocating to southern Utah or thinking about learning more about this area, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it so you don't miss any of our future videos. But without further ado, let's just jump into it. And we'd like to start out by apologizing for not posting on a regular basis. I feel like it's been, how long has it been?
What's that? 2 weeks?
No, it's been longer than that.
Probably been 3 weeks.
It's been close for like a month. We've been MIA because life has been crazy. So we went out and did a thing, what was it, about 3 weeks ago? It was a little after Father's Day.
Spur of the moment.
Spur of the moment, on the whim. And Michonne is the frugal one. I'm the one that usually does those sorts of things. She's the CFO, I'm the CEO. But I'm usually also really good at convincing her to do really dumb things. But we kind of thought this one through. So I thought this one through. Anyway, we went out and bought a travel trailer because...
Well, we were looking at renting one first for our trip. So our trip was going to be 10 days. The reason we needed one is we needed somewhere to stay with our bulldogs. We travel with our dogs.
Yeah, so let's start with the pre-story.
Yeah.
We are literally unable to travel because... unless we have a babysitter, Meatball and Diesel, we don't board them because they're our babies. They're part of the family. And naturally, if we want to travel, we have to either take them with, and they are not like your typical dogs. They can be hot, they can be cold. They have to travel with their food. We raw feed them. So it's more or less like traveling with douchebag toddlers. Like a toddler that gets into everything, that has a whole laundry list of issues.
Did you say a douchebag toddler?
A douchebag toddler.
Oh, cut.
Toddlers are allowed places. You can just carry them in a car seat. You can put them in the stroller. But when you have a slobbery bulldog that has zero discipline, when people think that bulldogs are cute, yes, they're cute, they're adorable, but our bulldogs are like, imagine being that parent that has children that prevent you from hanging out with other adults because they're like in your face constantly 24/7. Yes, we failed.
They're very needy. Our English bulldog, he's mostly white, so he's got a lot of just allergies. Even though we baby them, we raw feed them, we're very careful with what we give them. Though that breed in general just they get skin issues and allergies, so they cannot be in heat more than probably 75, even that's pushing it. They can't be in really cold, super cold temperatures or super hot and humid. They overheat really easily and then it gets kind of bad. They can't breathe very good because they're flat faces, so they have the same amount of soft palate tissue as any other regular dog with a longer snout, but it's all
so
compacted.
Instead of having this much snout, you're flat facing it, but you still have all the tissue. So their breathing sounds very labored. So if you ever call us and you hear strange noises in the background, it's usually either Meatball or Diesel. So aside from
like
slobbering, snorting, and farting, they also have a laundry list of behavioral issues, which is really just one. Like, not a laundry list of behavioral issues. They just, whatever the hell they want to do, they do. They don't.
Yeah, they run the house.
They
We're
run
staff.
the house. We're just staff. So anyway, long story short,
okay, yeah.
We needed to buy a dog house on wheels because, you would think that we could just put them in a vehicle and, throw them in a truck, go over to my mom's house in Wisconsin and just visit my parents, right? It'd be easy, right? No, she has a vicious cat. This cat is literally a monster. And when I say that, I don't feel safe in her house. The thing hisses and swats, and he runs that house. So naturally, we needed a place for our bulldogs and, for us to stay. So we looked at renting travel trailers. We looked at Airbnbs. First of all, Airbnbs are not pet friendly in Wisconsin at all. Like, nobody wants to even rent to you with a dog, like not even with a security deposit. And the ones that do are not really that amazing, and they are super costly.
Like way more than Southern Utah.
Yeah, way more than Southern Utah.
I kind of feel like Southern Utah is like one of the most desirable places to visit. There is so much to do. The weather, there is so much to do here, and everything's pretty open.
Is. I mean, I don't even know why would you want to go anywhere else.
But the cost of the Airbnbs there, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, there aren't really any super huge attractions in that part of Wisconsin. It's just trees and water and land and nothing. Like, you couldn't say beer and cheese. What else is Wisconsin's
pretty swampy too. There's like a lake every 5 miles. It's crazy.
Yeah, but to say that this is like the destination where Airbnb should be that expensive, I couldn't justify it.
So then we looked at RV share, outdoorsy, and I'm like, might as well just get a trailer, because we made a trip about 2 years ago and we just drove straight in our truck with our dogs. Never again. Rough. Never again.
And we did actually end up borrowing a trailer from the neighbor that time, which was kind of cool because we just set up camp in my parents' front yard and we were able to just get by with that. But this time we figured, option A, Airbnb, out of the question, because most options are too far away, because then we're not really seeing my parents and we don't see them very often, but we would have to stay somewhere.
So normally they would come visit too, but her cat also is a diabetic. So he requires insulin shots every 4 hours. So to make things more complicated, even when we're there, like that, we need to make sure that the dogs are in AC at all times. The cat can't be left alone for more than 4 hours without getting an insulin shot. I mean, it just gets crazy.
So logically, the next logical thing was to go and purchase a travel trailer. But people have been asking us about this entire trip. Like, now it's been almost a week. I haven't been able to edit this video. So if you're watching this is the week after we got back. In the midst of it, I had to fly to North Carolina and do more travel. Long story short, here we are. But people have been asking us about this trip and how it went. Well, I'm really going to watch this video and find out how it went, because we were taking turns driving, and with the amount of transactions that we still had in escrow, like, nothing had to be face-to-face. We were able to manage these transactions remotely.
I don't know how we even pulled that off.
Luckily, nobody was in town. Everything that needed to happen could be managed remotely. But I don't think we're going to attempt this stunt again, because we were taking turns driving and doing business on the road, which was actually really cool. It worked out super convenient because we had our generator with us and we were able to boondock just about anywhere. Mm-hmm. On the way to Wisconsin, we traveled from St. George, Utah to Amherst, Wisconsin, which is about a 1,700 mile trip. We had the intentions to stop in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, then travel up to Yellowstone. Then after that,
we had high hopes.
So Yellowstone is pretty much a day there. And on the way to Wisconsin, we spent 3 days driving because we took off kind of late. We took some time to pack. So the first night we spent in a Walmart parking lot just outside of Salt Lake.
We didn't get very far. That's about 4 hours.
No, it was probably like a 5-hour drive.
Okay.
So from there...
Well, from here to Salt Lake is 4 hours.
Yeah.
But
it was just a little bit past Salt Lake. From there, we made it to Jackson Hole. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We checked out Jackson, Wyoming, and we had to spend a night. So we camped in Wyoming. And then after that, we were just kind of anxious to get going. So then we made it all the way to Wall, South Dakota.
And if anyone's made that drive, have you guys seen the advertising for Wall Drug? I mean, you can't miss it. We should have captured, I don't even think we captured that footage. We didn't.
We did.
All the different advertising, all the different signs that are jumping at you to go visit Wall Drug?
We did.
Okay. It was awesome. We're kind of all over the place with this story because we haven't even really talked about it yet, but the reason we purchased this trailer, we were looking at renting them, but all the options on RV Share and Outdoorsy, they were all rented. Like we couldn't even find. And
they were available.
Yeah, and the amount that you'd pay to rent one for 10 days.
Yeah. So long story short, we decided to hopefully turn this trailer into a rapidly depreciating cash flowing asset. After calculating some numbers, according to Outdoorsy and RV Share, and I'm actually curious to know if any of our viewers out there are doing this, what are your experiences like? You know, my research consisted of about 15 minutes of watching a handful of YouTube videos and looking at the numbers that were posted by Outdoorsy and RV Share and some of the other YouTubers that were talking about doing this. But if you make the trailer relatively available, average earnings are reported from a travel trailer, and this is a bumper pool, so the intentions behind this purchase were to get something that's comfortable, that can sleep up to as many people as possible. So this is a rear bunkhouse version. So this should accommodate for up to 10, which I think could be challenging. Like the bunkhouse room would be perfect for kids. This dinette will turn into a bed. There is a queen size bed out front with a full size bath. And then there's also a pull out sofa. So according to the manufacturer specs, it is supposed to sleep up to 10. But our other big intention with this purchase was to get something that's half-ton towable. We have a 3/4 ton truck, and I don't know if I would be too comfortable towing this with a half-ton in the mountains. You may be able to tow it up the mountain, but on the way down, I think that there's a pretty good chance you'll be cooking your brakes. I don't know. If any of you are towing a 32-foot trailer with a half-ton, what is your experience
Yeah,
like?
please, we'd love to know your experience.
But also, more so, the investment side of things, the plan is so that we would use it maybe once or twice a year, and the rest of the year it'd stay in our rental pool. So hopefully it'll stay rented out fairly consistently. We will be sure to let you guys know how all that goes. So that was kind of the general thought behind it. And if you happen to be in southern Utah, we offer a couple of different options. This is the part where our shameless plug comes in. So if you find yourself in southern Utah and maybe you're flying here, maybe you're driving here, maybe you don't even own a truck, but you want a glamping experience, we plan on making it available with local delivery. So if you're planning on being here for the weekend, we could drop it off at Sand Hollow, Zion, any of the local campgrounds, campground of your choice in St. George. There's so many awesome destinations here in southern Utah where you could just go and camp, and you have the most mind-blowing scenery outside your window. When it's not dark and it's not in our front yard, just imagine mountains or the lake. It is literally a short drive away from right here, and you could have all of that. I will post our Outdoorsy link in the description below this video, so you can click on it, you can book it, or you could also just shoot us a text or give us a call, and we could arrange that for you, so provided that it's available, of course. But back to our trip. What was one of your most exciting camping experiences? We don't do this often.
Shitter was full!
Ah, yeah. You checked our shitters, honey?
Clark, please. He doesn't know any better.
Not like never.
Ever. Like, this was actually the first time ever pulling a 32-foot, 10,000-pound trailer across country.
So, where did we stay in that field?
That was outside of Wall Drug.
Was that in North Dakota?
Yes, it was in North Dakota.
That was
Wall, North Dakota.
Yes, that was mind-blowing. It was absolutely beautiful. That was my favorite part. That was my favorite camping.
The coolest part about that is there is an app called Campodium, whatever. I'll post the link in the description. But that app allows you to just get in your RV or get in your truck, pull in your trailer, and you can search for any campsite. Like if you want 50 amp hookups, if you want 30 amp hookups, if you want to dry camp, if you want to pay a lot, if you want to pay a little, or if you want to just boondock for free. Mm-hmm. So it allows for you to explore all these sites, and it has user contributed locations. So that location in Wall, it was just 9 miles east of the Wall drugstore. And the drugstore is advertised on every billboard for miles.
Hundreds of advertising
through the entire state. It takes up an entire city block. It's a pretty cool place. However, this campsite was just absolutely mind-blowing. You have, it is actually a steer pasture that spans across this beautiful field that looks like something from Iowa. It's perfectly flat. There's just tons of cows, and we were kind of wondering, when do the cows go home? He
kept asking me, he's like, do you know when the cows come home? When do the cows come home? I'm like, they're home.
So we pull in, and we're in the middle of this field, right on the edge of a huge cliff. Like it just drops a couple hundred yards. And in our backyard was literally the Badlands. Like you have the view of Badlands, South Dakota, and then the other side of the trailer opens up to this just lush green field that just goes for miles on end, with some cows and the other products of cows in the field. So it had one downside. We could not let our boys just free roam because they have a thing.
Well, and there's a cliff.
And they have a thing for the cow droppings. You could end up with a mouthful before you know it. I'm not sure what it is. Some people say it's a nutritional deficiency. We feel like we feed them a pretty well-balanced diet, so I think that might be a myth. If any of you dog lovers out there know why do the dogs get crap? Why do they eat it? Post your theory in the comments below. I'm curious to know. I think it's just a dog thing to do. Bulldogs just have the anti-authority thing.
Well, they have eaten it once, but they will try to roll in it.
Yeah, try to eat it, roll in it. It's kind of gross. But anyway, it was a beautiful place to stay. So from there on, we just kept on trucking, made it to Wisconsin, and this trip happened right around Father's Day weekend. Like literally the weekend of Father's Day we were traveling, so we're just a few days late, like a day late. Mm-hmm. And normally, being that far away from my parents, we don't do a whole lot for Father's Day or Mother's Day. Just send some flowers, card, maybe order some takeout and just deliver it remotely. But this time, we had the luxury of being there. And my dad absolutely loves fishing. So we brought an inflatable boat with a trolley motor. That was his Father's Day gift. And he was beyond excited. He was stoked.
It was awesome.
You guys gonna go check out those babes? As you can see, my dad was thrilled about his new boat, so it was Father's Day done right. And luckily in Wisconsin, you never have to travel far to be near water. We were just at the lake that's near my parents' house, Lake Emily. It was quite beautiful, even though it was pretty flooded. The water levels were pretty high from previous rains. And anytime we're in that area, we had to go to Belt's Ice Cream. It's a place that is known for its ice cream, and it's absolutely amazing. If you're ever in Stevens Point, Wisconsin area, you have to check it out. We don't usually give those sorts of things to our boys, but that one's an exception. They had to enjoy a pop cone on a hot summer day. Enjoying their ice cream at Belts. On the way down to Wisconsin, we're planning on stopping at Yellowstone, but it would have added a considerable amount of time on our commute, so I committed to Michonne to at least hit Mount Rushmore on the way back and check out this beautiful, beautiful attraction. And here you can see us driving into the park. Weather was perfect for our visit and was definitely well worth the stop. We're able to check out the main entrance, and though things were a little strange with people wearing masks, but we're still able to visit the monument and make a quick stop at the souvenir store. And our boys weren't able to join because they're not registered as service animals, and evidently dogs are not allowed at the monument. It was a pretty cool sight, just being able to be there and hang out and see the figures of our founding fathers. That entire surrounding area is absolutely beautiful too, so if you're planning a road trip and thinking about camping anywhere near Mount Rushmore, it is so worth the stay. Super fun trip all in all. And on the way back, we just ended up rushing back to get back to Utah, to get back to responsibility. The first day we traveled 900 miles.
Can't remember.
1,700 miles total. So I think the first day we traveled like 900 miles, and the second day we just drove through 700 miles. So pretty much iron butted it, just stopping for food and bathroom breaks. That was about it.
Beat the clock the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun though.
All in all, would you do it again?
I'd do it again. It's worth it to go see your parents every chance we get. Any chance that we can get away from work and work on the road, like.
How was our fuel mileage?
Okay, that's the part. They got me. At some points it was saying like 6, 5 going uphill. We were steady at about 9 or 10.
9 or 10 through flat states like Minnesota and parts of flat Wyoming. On the way back, we experienced something pretty scary. I don't know if running out of fuel in the middle of Wyoming with 45 mile per hour wind gusts and 45 degrees in June. The end of June, it was like literally 45 degrees. And when we finally pulled into this gas station, our fuel gauge was like past empty. It was completely buried beyond E. And I think we literally made it on fumes. And that particular gas tank, we only got 130 miles out of that tank.
Well, we drove through some crazy rainstorm. It was crazy windy, blowing us all over the place. And then we get to the gas station and some guy actually rolled his trailer from the wind.
Yeah, there was a trucker that pulled in that showed us footage on his phone of a Ford F-250 with an older camper, probably similar setup to ours, that was completely on its side taking a nap in the middle of the road. So it was scary. If you're driving through high wind, open states like Wyoming, you have to be very careful. Just do whatever is the safe speed. The faster you go, the more susceptible you are to those side wind gusts that could just pick you up and flip you on the side like a child's toy. It doesn't matter if your whole rig weighs 20,000 pounds between the trailer and a truck. You are a large dimension vehicle that basically acts as a parachute. The faster you go, the faster you'll flip on your side. There were a couple of dodgy moments with side gusts, but luckily we drove through that and Yeah, having larger tires and a heavy trailer definitely does not help your fuel mileage, but all in all, it still made sense. So back to dollars and cents, cost of ownership of this trailer is still technically lower than renting one for a week, but this is just me trying to justify why we bought it.
No, it was like the amount that we pay on monthly payments over a year.
Yeah.
After or renting it for 10 days. Was that like?
I think our total rental, including mileage, would have been close to like $1,700.
And we might pay a couple $100s more than that over a year's worth of payments. So.
But realistically, if it produces close to $25,000 a year within the ownership, it will more or less pay for itself within a year and a half.
That's why I jumped on. That's why I was on board. I was like, okay.
We'll have to post an update video, and I will let you guys know if I disappointed Michonne or if this really worked out. So we'll check back in on this one to let you know how it went.
The best part of this trip was seeing how happy our boys were. They had the time of their life. You'll see a lot of footage of them because they were just so happy. Like, they love the trailer life. It is their favorite. And then when we got home, because they were being in a trailer for 10 days, I was like, I wonder if next time we go to the garage door, if they're gonna freak out. And yeah, they
love being in a truck.
Yes, they love it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
If you guys made it all the way to the end of our video, thank you so much for tuning in today to watch our video.
If you found this video helpful or entertaining, give it a thumbs up. If you had a similar experience with, owning a trailer, perhaps renting it out as an investment or renting it from somebody, would love to hear about your experience because we're brand new to this. We're brand new to owning a travel trailer. This is the first one ever. This was our first experience ever towing one across the country and coming back. We're curious to see what was your experience like. What are some of the things you loved or some of the things you hated? Let us know in the comments below this video. And if you plan on coming to Southern Utah, maybe you're shopping for a house, we know two people that could help you find one, a temporary place to stay. Now we can accommodate.
Got a perfect setup.
I mean, we've got a bunch of options. We have a number of vacation rentals that we manage that we could get you a special deal on if camping is not your sort of thing. But if you would like to experience, say, luxury glamping, we could drag this thing out to any destination of your choice. I mean, it has to be within reason, but there are so many places to choose from right here in Southern Utah that within like literally a 30-minute radius of St. George, you could be in the most iconic destinations that people drag their trailers to from all over the United States. People fly here from all over the world just to experience Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon, Grand Canyon. There are so many places that it would beat a 5-star hotel. Just waking up to a beautiful view, going on a hike, and not having to travel. Like, you're there. Why travel to the destination when you could literally spend a night there?
Or Google Sand Hollow in St. George.
Yeah,
You won't
Sand
be
Hollow
disappointed.
State Park is absolutely beautiful.
Surrounded by beautiful golf, the lake.
We could literally go on forever about all of that, but we will tell you more in the next video. So until then, peace.
Please subscribe.